Hey you guys, it's Sonia. So I wanted to do a part two to yesterday's video because we were talking about some questions were raised as to, like which companies were still black owned. And someone asked if like Ultra Sheen and oh, what was the other one? Like Bronner Brothers, if they were still black owned. And I looked it up. Bronner Brothers is still a family owned, black owned business. Um, Ultra Sheen, which also became known as Afro Sheen, um, they started out being owned by Johnson Products Company, JPC, and they were privately held and based in Chicago. So, Johnson Products Company is not to be confused. They're not affiliated with Johnson and Johnson or anything like that. So, Johnson Products Company, they also created Ultra Wave, which was a relaxer for men. And then they later flipped that over and created relaxers for women. Afro Sheen was their most popular product, which was created for natural afros back in the 70s. And they also sponsored Soul Train in 1971, and they were the first black owned company to sponsor um, a national televised program. So that was history making in itself, and it made sense because Afro Sheens in the 70s, afros were very popular. So it made sense for them to sponsor Soul Train. Now, here's the thing, the company, they said it was purchased by Ivex Corp in 1993, and then it ended its control by African American investors. Then it was bought by Procter and Gamble. Procter and Gamble is always buying black companies. They know where the money at. So then in March 2009, a consortium of African American investment firms bought the company from Procter and Gamble to reestablish it as an African American owned company. So from 2009 till now, um, Johnson Products Company is black owned once again. So that was a little history. I want to share that with y'all about, at least those companies in particular, because somebody had asked if they were still black owned. I was reading you guys' comments on this, and you've been leaving some really good comments, really good questions. And one thing that stuck with me was someone who said that regardless of whether or not these companies are still black owned or not, um, it makes it hard for us. It gets tiring, trying to figure out who's who, who's what, who to support, because um, these changes, are always taking place. Formulas change, they sell them off. Um, Products are expensive, and with inflation and everything that's happening right now, everybody's trying to save their coins. And I totally get all those points, and I agree with that. And then that's why I go back to, it's good to know how to make your own stuff. It never hurts to learn. I learned by going on YouTube and Googling things, and I had friends who made their own stuff. So it's just a matter of getting in the kitchen and trying some things out. It never hurts. And being self sufficient, the way things are going, y'all, that's the way to be. That's the way to go. And oh, before I forget, before I end this, someone asked where I get my glasses from. Y'all, I buy my glasses online. I do not go to any like brick and mortar stores. Zulu and Aoolia is AOOLIA.com. That's where I get my glasses. There's one more place that I'm forgetting, but those are the two main places where I got the yellow ones from Ayula, I think. These from Zelo, like all my glasses y'all see. I think the red burgundy ones. The burgundy ones I did get from oh god, Vision Works. Vision Works. I don't know if there's a Vision Works by you. I live in Milwaukee, but we have Vision Works. I got those and the black cat eyes from there. So yeah. Y'all, I'm sitting outside and these squirrels, they get on my nerves. That's why I keep looking around. We got this big old tree in our backyard and they're always digging in our garbage. But anywho, I just wanted to share that. I'm still reading the comments. You guys keep them coming. About the Mael thing. Y'all, somebody shared my video about Mael, right? And this person, hang on. All right, I'm back in the house. Me and rodents do not mix. I don't care if they're squirrels. I don't think squirrels are cute. I think they're destructive and they're gross. And they destroy my garden. But anywho, I can't remember what I was talking about before I came back in the house. I'm out of breath now because I had to walk upstairs and all that good stuff. I kept hearing things, y'all. I hate squirrels. I'm sorry, I do. No offense to any animal lovers, y'all, but squirrels are the bane of my existence. They destroy my garden. They are very destructive. They've eaten holes in our garbage cans. Keep calling the city for new garbage cans, and no sooner than they bring them, they eat new holes in the new ones. It's an ongoing battle. But anywho, thank you guys for the comments on the different hair care products, and some of you said that you haven't heard of some of the products that I've listed. So a lot of them were new to me as well. Except for a couple. But I think for me, when you have locks, and I know, you know, when you have locks, you do whatever you feel is right for your hair. You use whatever products you feel work for you. I just saw a video last night of somebody showing how to properly use Blue Magic hair grease honey in their locks. I guess she used it for her retwist. I was like, okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When I first started out in my lock journey, I was very judgmental. Because I was drinking the Kool-Aid about all these lock rules. Because I started out with sister locks. I didn't think I was above or better than anybody because I had sister locks. It was the fact that I was learning all these new things that I didn't know before. And I was very much zoned in on like the proper way to care for your locks and not having buildup. Like it was just like ingrained in me, like buildup is the devil, which it is. So you have to stop using the things that cause the buildup. But I didn't know or didn't learn quite yet back then that as long as you wash your hair regularly with a clarifying shampoo, you should be good. Not only washing your hair, but not being heavy-handed with the products that you use, whether if it's grease or a heavy oil or just products in themselves. Don't be heavy-handed with it, and make sure you wash your hair regularly. You should be good. You know, make sure you cleanse your scalp really well. That's why I'm really interested in that clay mask that I mentioned in my post from last night Wonder Curl Detoxifying Clay Cleanser is supposed to really give your scalp a good cleaning. And I feel like I haven't had that. I use clarifying shampoos to, get out any buildup, like if I oiled my scalp with a heavy oil, or if I know that I, you know, oiled my locks a little more than usual, which I typically don't. I really want to get my hair clean, get my locks clean. So I use a clarifying shampoo, but I don't always feel like my scalp is getting the cleansing it needs. I use sulfur 8 because of my dandruff. That helps control my dandruff. And I only use that as needed. That's not a regular thing that I use. But when I use sulfur 8 shampoo, my scalp, it tingles, it's medicated, and my scalp feels really, really good afterwards. But again, I don't use it all the time because I don't have to. But whenever my dandruff flares up, I use sulfur 8. And so anywho, yeah, I was very much into, just following the rules, and I'm learning all this new stuff, because I'm new to the lock world. And I was very, very judgmental. And I have no problem admitting to that, because as time went on, I learned, and especially when I kind of stepped away from sister locks, when I combined my locks, and kind of went on a different journey with my locks, I really realized that there's nothing wrong. There's really no hard. There are some rules that you should abide by in the beginning of your lock journey. But once your locks, you get out of that baby phase and your locks have matured, you do what's best for you. And I'll say this, even in the beginning of my sister lock stage, there were a lot of the sister locks rules that just did not work for me. The not oiling your scalp, and only using sister locks products, and none of that sat well with me. And I did find myself going back to my sulfur 8, going back to the oils that I knew worked for me and my scalp, because the sister lock stuff just did not work for me. Their spritzes, and y'all, it a lot turned me off in the beginning. But again, like I said, when I stepped away from sister locks and I combined my locks, that's when the light bulb really went off in my head, and I was like, you got to do what's best for you and your hair. The end. The end. Like, a lot of these hard and fast rules, and a lot of these the lock Bible that a lot of people try to push on you, it don't work for everybody. You got to do what works for you. You got to do what you know works for you and your hair. And the thing about sister locks is, we have so many, there's no two heads of hair are alike. We have different needs, scalp needs, hair needs, that sticking to that sister locks way, to me, is just, it's ridiculous. And I don't see how people can. And I know some people have, and they've done it successfully, and none of that stuff bothered them. The sister locks products didn't bother them. They bothered me and my scalp. And I quickly learned that a lot of people couldn't use the sister locks products for one reason or another. They were allergic to certain things in them. It made their hair itch, or their scalp itch even more. It was a lot of problems, and I had those problems too. So anywho, I'm getting super long-winded. But again, do what's best for you. Do what works for you. And as long as you do it in moderation, don't go overboard with the oiling. Don't go overboard with products. A lot of people are anti-product. They find that using no product works for them. Some people swear by certain products, and they still use products that they used from when they were loose natural. Um, I'm not I can't I'm not going to judge anybody. The only thing I don't like is when people are doing things in a harmful way, in a not so good way that will harm your hair or cause damage, and they promote this to other people. That's when I have an issue. But I'm not gonna get in nobody else's business. Um, as far as what they use or put in their hair, unless it's harmful, like the relaxing the edges. Don't do that. Like why would you? Why do your edges have to lay down? I mean, if you still in that mindset to the point where you put a relaxer on your edges, why did you go natural? Someone had a conversation, someone brought up this topic in one of the lock groups on Facebook, and she was like, she had been locked for a long time, and she was just trying to understand, like, if you got locks, you started this journey, why do so many women cover up their locks or put braids in their hair, braids over their locks, wigs over their locks? She was like, I'm just trying to understand, because when she started her journey, people joined the lock world, for much different reasons, and I knew where she was coming from. And I said, girl, they're not ready for this conversation. And of course, there was a lot of people who jumped in and said, because we can, it's my business, it's my hair, why do you care? And it's like, she said, I'm trying to have a honest and like serious conversation. If you could please share why you do it. I'm just trying to understand. And people were coming at her neck. Why do you need to understand? It's none of your business. Why do you care? And it's a few people did chime in and gave really thoughtful answers. And that was all she was looking for. But again, I get where she's coming from, because there are a lot of people where locks is more of a style. It's just a style for them instead of a lifestyle. And there is a difference. And it's like, I get both sides. I get those, because there's a lot of people who get locks who just like to change up their hair. They like different styles. They like having different options. And I get that. There's people who have locks and they just have to style their hair. They have to do something to their hair, whether if it's coloring it all the time or styling it all the time or putting some weave in it, wig, whatever. They do it because that's just what they like. They like the razzle dazzle. But then there are those who are still, they're not confident with their locks because they feel they're not long enough. They're in that ugly stage, which I don't believe in an ugly stage, but whatever. There's a lot of women who feel that their locks aren't pretty until they're a certain length, until they got to touch my neck, they got to touch my shoulders, they got to be down my back for me to wear them, or they just feel they got to be a certain length before they show them. And I hate that, but what can you do? Women are going to do what makes them feel comfortable, what makes them feel confident, what makes them feel pretty. And it doesn't matter if you have locks or not. If you have locks, relaxed hair, natural, loose natural hair, that's just what it is. And but for me, I wish there were, I don't know, I don't even know how to say this. I wish we didn't feel so down on ourselves about our hair. And there's a whole history there that goes back to slavery times of why we still feel the way we do, why we still view our hair the way we do. And that's a whole other topic, but it was a good conversation. And then she eventually turned the comments off because people were just being so ugly and disrespectful. And when she was genuinely trying to have an honest conversation. And yeah, I totally understood where she was coming from, but I also understood where other people are coming from too. But I think, y'all, we got to do better than the typical, why do you care? It's none of your business. Why you care about other people's hair? It's not even about that. And people are so quick to feel judged. They feel like, somebody coming after them and judging them. No, it's people who are genuinely trying to understand, because there's so many different factions in the lock community. You got the lock purists, you got the lock, the people that's kind of in between, and then you have those who feel like, hey, anything goes. If I want to throw some weave in my locks, if I want to put some braids over my locks, if I want to throw a wig on over my locks, that's what I'm going to do. It's do you, do whatever. I just wish they realized that when you do that stuff, and if you do that on a regular basis, there's consequences. There's damage that can be done to your hair when you're constantly covering it up, especially when you have locks. Because then you'll see the posts and you'll see the YouTube videos of people who are trying to either reverse the damage they caused, or, and they're trying to save their hair. They're looking for advice of how to save their hair, or there's those who cut their locks off and they have to start over because of the damage they did. So there's a flip side to this. Yeah, we all know that we can do whatever we want to do to our hair, but there's the flip side. There's consequences, you know what I mean? If it's not done safely and in the right way. So I think that's it, y'all. I just wanted to come on real quick. Look, I say real quick, and we're already 22 minutes in. So if you last this long to the end of the video, thank you. I appreciate you. And hey, to all my new followers, I've been forgetting to shout y'all out. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. I'm trying to get to 1K. That's my goal. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you guys later. Get in those comments. Keep them coming. Bye.